Hey, my name is ShawNshawN. I sell art on ShawNshawN.co. Today we're going to review X. So this is filmed by Ty West, also writer, so director-writer combination. Time is 1 hour and 45 minutes, so right around the hour and a half sweet spot I really like. Actors are Mia Goth plays Maxine. Jenna Ortega plays Lorraine. Brittany Snow plays Bobby-Lynne. Cudi plays Jackson. Martin Henderson plays Wayne. Owen Campbell plays RJ. Ure plays Howard. So you have this new filmmaker, and he gets involved in a porno, and they're going to shoot it on the cheap, and they want to shoot it in kind of this farm town in Texas, and they rent this rental, and they don't really tell the elderly couple what they're going to be doing there. And then in the middle of the night, after they shoot a couple of the sex scenes, they start getting picked off one by one by the landlord. Who will survive? So the first 30 minutes are kind of cringe. You're just like, where is this film going? And it's about a porno, and you're like, I thought it was about a horror film. So the first 30 minutes are cringe. I almost walked out, but thank God it didn't, because it gets way better later. It has a really fun setup in 1979 era. You got, there's no cell phones, obviously. They have all the look and the feel, the mini skirts, the afro, and also the really, crazy looking elderly couple. It's very similar to kind of a combination of Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre blend, if you want to think about it. They have these great macabre setups in the film, and they're just like, they go a little bit over the top more than they need to. You just see it and you're like, turn away, it's so gross. You're like, Jesus Christ. So definitely a lot of gore in the film, not as much scare. Some of those kill scenes are really funny, the way they set them up, and people are just bursting out laughing in the cinema. I know, I was definitely laughing, because you're just... the way these people get killed is either super stupid or just really funny. It's really great because you see kind of the setup of each scene of when they're going to be murdered, and you're like, oh, I wonder how they're going to be murdered. Are they going to be murdered now or later or what? So it's kind of fun because they get picked off one by one. It's really interesting too. They start off the film with the cops finding all these people murdered. And so there's going to be about a horror film, and then when it's about a porno in the middle of it, you're like, what the hell's going on? And then it switches on, into the horror film in the half. So it's really funny because it has a little bit of that feel like Dusk to Dawn, where it goes one way and then all of a sudden it turns into like a completely different film. So that's a really fun setup. The landlord's a really gross elderly couple. You're like, they have some really choice gross scenes with them. You're like, oh my God, they make a great villains. I mean, I was getting sick to my stomach, and I'm 50. I can imagine people in their 20s that are probably the ideal people that go see this. They'd be super grossed out. So just really great use of them. Great use on the TV of, you have a TV evangelist in the background saying like, oh, these people are sinners and going to hell and all that. And it really kind of bounces off versus this porno crowd that are shooting a cheap porno in the middle of Texas, because it's really a great contrast, I think. As well as a nice full circle at the very end of the film. And you're like, oh, there's some little detail revealed by the TV evangelist. It's really nice. And yeah, just the overall pretty fun film. It's just off the wall. You're like, the first 30 minutes I thought, like, this is like the worst movie ever made. And then obviously it gets really funny with the horror film part. So it totally makes up for it. So you just have to wait through the kind of the bad beginning, and then it just gets super funny later. You're just like, it's just a lot of cringe scenes though, just to make the film. So really fun, because you're just like, wow, this can't be made any worse. And then it gets better later with the way they get killed. It's just really funny. So I'd recommend it. It's a surprising recommend, because half of it's bad, half of it's good. So, but these kind of films are kind of funny because you're like, man, how could they make the film so weird, And I think some of it due to the lighting. There's no color grading, I would say, that you would say typical of a horror film. Normally I do color grading on a horror film. It's very juicy, very beautiful. And this is just shot like a normal kind of grainy 70s film, which is shot in the 70s, right? So that makes sense. But it doesn't really feel that creepy, but it does get a little creepy. So some of it's set pretty well. But yeah, I recommend it. If you guys like to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.